Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome back. Today we're starting a little mini-series, a tidy little best units mini-series. So I'm going to go through and show the range of units that are in each faction, starting with Gondor. Working my way through the good factions, then we're going to pivot and show some of the bad factions. So starting with Gondor today, we're going to do a little skirmish battle against a weak, spongy goblin army. But we're going to go through and we're going to demonstrate and show a good army composition, some of the best units that Gondor has to offer, as well as some honourable mentions that didn't quite make the cut. We're going to talk early game, late game, mid game, all of that very good stuff. Gondor isn't just the White City, it is one of the most versatile factions in the Dawnless days. Today we're breaking down the units that define Gondor's strength, from early game anchors to late game powerhouses, and as you can see we've got a selection of good troops on display here. So let's go in kind of chronological order. Let's look at some of the units that we would get in the early game. These get a lot of stick, but I actually reckon they are some good units. So we've got some spear militia, some bow militia, and some sword militia. Getting a close look at each of these. Poorly fitted. Well, they got some good shields. Got some nice helmets. They're keen. They're eager. Quite clearly. He's managed to pinch a helmet from somewhere. Some of these boys are a little bit better equipped. But like I say, they're eager. They're keen. Even though a couple of them might have the flu. Next on the list, the spear militia. These guys are the bread and butter of an early Gondor campaign. They're cheap. They're reliable. They hold the line. They're your anti-cav backbone. The militia, compound these with the swordsmen that we looked at a little bit earlier over there, and you've got a nice little core to an early game army. And not forgetting the undeniable militia archers, the Gondor archers. These boys, as you can imagine, they're pretty povo. They've only got their trusty Minas Tirith helmets, their bows, and some raggedy yet honourable Minas Tirith cloth armour. These guys will form up the early base of your range in these tier 1 and tier 2 armies. They'll do the job, but we can, as you can see just here, and a little bit further along, get some more specialised range units, which we'll touch on in a little bit. The cool thing is, these units won't win you many battles on their own, but what they will do is form a great chunky base for you to kick the game off in these early tier 1 and 2s. Reliable, cheap, they'll hold the line, they'll keep your economy alive while you build Gondor towards its real strength, which is what we'll look at in just a second. Next, we're taking a quick look at some of the tier 2 and tier 3 units. So, looking straight away, some Gondor sword infantry. These guys, as you can see, are immediately better equipped than their counterparts in the Gondor militia. Full plate armour, nice towering Minas Tirith tower shields, some lovely luscious locks to go along with it. These boys, as predicted, are pretty much one step up from the Gondor militia. They do have formations like shield wall, which, as we all know, does a damn good job of keeping that defensive line, keeping them steady. It's the iconic shield wall, with a bit of a handsome chappy there at the front, one of Gondor's most notorious models. The warriors of Lasarnak are the tier 2 medium shock infantry that Gondor has to offer. Chainmail, tabards, brandishing, mighty war axes. Some of them buckler shields that I doubt they'll use because they look like two-handed axe infantry. These are your first kind of look at Gondor's shock infantry. Some dented helmets there. But these boys, they're going to be able to chop an army to bits from the back. You know what to do with shock infantry. Great addition to Gondor's army. The Gondorian bows. As I said before with the swordsmen, these are kind of one step up from the Gondor archers that we got at the start. These guys more properly equipped with proper Gondor plate armour, great longbows. They have a little bit more offensive techers as well. As you can see, each one of them has a little sword, so they can hold their own a little bit better in melee combat. Gondor cavalry. Now these are tier 3, but they're the best cavalry that Gondor has to offer. As you can see, very much similarly equipped to the rest of their colleagues. It's pretty much the Gondor swordsman that we see over there on horseback, and these horses are very keen, as we can hear. This forms the basis of your sword cavalry for Gondor, and then we'll have a little look at some of the best spear cavalry, as you can see over there, in just a moment. At long last, we look at the pinnacle of what Gondor has to offer in their tier 4 units. So without further ado, let's have a look at some Osgiliath veterans under Boromir's command. Tier 4, very heavy melee infantry. They come with a plethora of little abilities and stuff like that, but as you can tell, look at them, they're all very, very fresh. We have the Horn of Gondor. The Horn of Gondor was an heirloom of the stewards, tipped with silver and inscribed with ancient characters. It was said to be audible at any place in Gondor when winded.
The Horn of Gondor. Boromir.
So it adds some good buffs to the unit, plus 20 morale, plus 5 melee defense, plus 20% speed, and unbreakable. Moving on to the Citadel Guards. These are the best spearmen that Gondor has to offer. They actually come in 2 variations. They come in the standard Citadel Guards, and they actually come in a Citadel Guard unit with, you can see the man himself, the great Denethor, leading the charge at the front. We've changed history here. Denethor isn't a snivelling coward anymore. He's not a madman. He is leading the charge with his brave Citadel Guards right at the front. Moving along to the left here, we've got some of the Fountain Guards. As you can see, these boys are the very heavy polearm infantry. They also come with Encourage, Phalanx Advance, and a Pike Wall Formation abilities. And what we have here is the Tier 4 very light bow infantry, the Attilian Rangers. We may recognise them. Boromir at the front there. Right at the end here, we've got our Tier 4 very heavy shock cavalry. They also have the Encourage ability. This is the creme de la creme of Gondor's cavalry, shock cavalry. These guys are going to chop through orc battalions. Without a second's delay, let's get these boys in formation and let's show you a little bit of what they can do. The battle has begun.
Courage is in every one of you. That, my friends, is why I am confident of victory. Stay.
King Aragorn has rallied his troops. His cavalry unit is looking very fresh. You would not want to meet these boys on the battlefield. They're almost too fresh. As you can see, these crafty boys, they've laid some traps for us. They've put some blockades down. We're going to make light work of these, going to make sure we avoid those. Let's get them to the front. Let's get them firing. Some of these orky boys. We're going to try and control the swords units, but we're having a lot of trouble with the old mouse at the moment. Let's take a look at these front lines. Denethor proudly holding the line against the orc mob that attacks. In the middle, we've got some more Citadel Guards proudly holding the line. Next to them, the Gondorian militia, spear militia, doing a great job, alongside the sword infantry and Boromir there at the end, leading the charge. He's got an arrow stuck in his shield, but once his shield actually did the job it was meant to do. Let's get some of these spearmen involved, and let's throw in some of the spear militia as well. Let's not forget about our cavalry, sitting pretty on the opposite side of the map. The shock cav has a very important job to do. It's going to be bringing down the High Chieftain's Guard. It's going to do it with skill, precision and a bit of flair. Aragorn and his general unit haven't even had to get involved just yet, but we'll have him here. We're going to have him charge into the High Chieftain's Guard. Poor goblins, they're no match. They're absolutely no match here. Surrounded, they're being slaughtered one by one. I think their advantage was lost long ago. And gents, boys and girls, that's pretty much it. That's the end of this, as we watch Aragorn run down some of the remaining troops. Hope you enjoyed. This has been the unit showcase. This has been the best units for Gondor. Going to go ahead and try and get one of these done for each of the base factions in the game. If you want more, tune in, leave me a comment, leave me a like, all that good stuff. If there's anything else you want to see, please feel free to request. I bid you good day, I will bid you good night. This is a decisive victory for Gondor's best units. Much love, I will speak to you all very, very soon.